President Trump arriving in Turkey just moments ago for the NATO summit. European defense spending expected to be in focus as the president applies pressure for our NATO allies to contribute more. I want to bring in Texas Congressman Keith Self. He also sits on the House Foreign Affairs Committee and is a retired Army Special Forces Lieutenant Colonel. Sir, thank you for your service. Congressman, I want to get your take on, we just saw the president land in Turkey for this two-day summit. There was a lot of military incursions, theaters, if you will, that as you call them in the military, between Russia, Ukraine, the Middle East, obviously the Israel-Lebanon conflict. Your thoughts?
Well, you've mentioned some full-scale conflicts there, especially in Ukraine. My thoughts are that, look, as the chairman of the Europe Subcommittee on Foreign Affairs, I had an Italian and a German delegation in my office just last week asking the question, how reliable is the United States to NATO? President Trump is going to be asking that same question of them in Ankara. How reliable are our NATO allies? Yes, you can commit to a spending level, but can you actually get there? And if you get there, do you actually have the defense base in Europe to buy equipment or our defense base? Both need help. And then are we going to be buying the right equipment? We don't want to fight the last war. We want to fight the next war, which we see in Ukraine.
Well, that's the question here is that, and by the way, NATO did agree to 5% spending of GDP for, this is defense spending. These are their targets. I agree. It takes some time to get there. NATO Secretary Mark Rutte did write that basically that he's committed, but he understands the president's frustration. He's been in the Oval Office multiple times, as you know. At the same time, there is a piece in the Wall Street Journal from Gerald Baker this morning who writes that he's concerned about Putin potentially making some type of move on the Baltic states, even Poland. Your reaction to that possibility? That's something that even Jerry Baker said a month ago, I never would have thought this is possible, but Vladimir Putin does not seem to be deterred.
Well, I think that's right, because he sees the fracture in NATO today. And frankly, the eastern frontier folks, the Baltics, all the way down to Romania, they're all in on this. It's the Western European nations that we need to convince that they still have a stake in this. UK, Germany, Spain for sure, France. So once we get everybody to agree to it, now we need to move fast to get there, because Putin may indeed take this opportunity to have an incursion into, let's say, Poland. And then would Article 5 stand? Article 5 says an attack on one is an attack on all. Would we go to war over an incursion into Poland by Putin today? That's an open question that would be settled by the North Atlantic Council, the heads of state of NATO. But it is an open question today, and I think it's a good question.
There's also questions about our military presence in the Middle East and whether or not that base in Bahrain may be scaled back. I had General Jack Keane on with me on Sunday, and he told me that he believes that we will be building more of a base in Israel, in southern Israel, and that is going to be more of where our Middle East operations for combat readiness would be located. Do you agree with that assessment or that possibility?
Well, I think we need to move it out of Bahrain because we need to move it a little further away. Israel might be one possibility. The general probably knows more than I do of the military planning. But we're also building a big base in Romania on the Black Sea called MK. So we are repositioning our bases. They plan that base to be as big as the one at Wiesbaden, which when I was there just before Midnight Hammer went down, and it looked like Costco parking lot with C-17s, our tanker fleet. So we are readjusting our bases. Israel is certainly one possibility.
Interesting. So let's get to the business at hand for you, sir. There's only 8 legislative days left for the House to pass key pieces of the Trump agenda before the August recess. Now, President Trump, on that 9-hour flight, was posting on Truth Social overnight. Here's what he wrote this morning. When Congress returns, we must pass Reconciliation 3.0 with $350 billion for defense, plus the Save America Act. I am calling on House and Senate leadership to make this their #1 priority. Nebraska Congressman Mike Flood joined me yesterday to talk about this. Here's what he had to say.
for a great majority, the majority of our majority, we are invested in getting this done. Listen, the SAVE Act is important to me. I voted 3 times to pass it. The House has sent it over to the Senate multiple times. There's a math problem over there. We have to navigate that on our side. But come July 13th, I'm hopeful we'll see a lot of progress. The funding issues, just the military and how we need to replenish our munitions, that's like job number 1 right now, and I don't think we have any room for error there.
Congressman, defense spending is crucial. The Save America Act has not been able to pass the Senate. Is tying the Save America Act to the defense budget a smart move?
Well, I want to make sure that the Save America Act that's in Reconciliation 3 is actually the Save America Act, an enforceable federal law. If we turn it into a voluntary program by the states, it might not be Save America Act. But I am all in for a Reconciliation 3. I want it to happen. My issue is the pay-fors, because are we going to drive our grandchildren further into debt without finding pay-fors to do this, as the DOW calls it, generational investment into our defense industry? I think we need to, but we also need to make sure that we are not driving our national deficit and debt just further into the ground.
But before you go, Congressman, House Speaker Johnson says he's, quote, looking at all angles after the Supreme Court's ruling on birthright citizenship, Congressman. You're in Texas. I do want to ask you about this. Is this something Republicans can realistically get done before the midterms?
Well, I don't know, but we need to make every effort because this was a disastrous decision for the United States of America. There is no way you read this. This is a real head scratcher. I mean, Clarence Thomas said there is no way you read this into the language. So how did they make this decision? Now, we do need to do a couple of things. Define jurisdiction in the Congress. And 2, we need to start clamping down on this birth tourism. We have got to go to the extent that if you are a foreigner and you are pregnant, you can't come to America. Because we have got to stop this any way we can in law, because this is disastrous. We've got well over 1 million Chinese young men and women in China today that can come back and run for president as soon as they hit the age limit, 35. This is a disastrous decision.
Yeah, and there are companies that actually cater to Chinese citizens because these Chinese citizens want to have their babies born here. There you go. Congressman Keith Self from the great state of Texas. Sir, thank you. It's always great to have you on the program. Appreciate your time.
Thank you.
All right. Congressman Keith Self will be right back.